my name is Nicola. I am from the marketing team at Podia, and today I am joined by Ollie. This is the founder of Senja, and we are so excited for this session today because Podia has tools for creating and selling your digital products and making landing pages, and Senja has amazing tools for building trust through testimonials that you can use for your products and landing pages. So this is kind of the perfect crossover, and I know I'm super excited to learn strategies to just make those sales pages really pop and drive even more sales for your online business. So I'm going to turn it over to Ollie, and yeah, we'll get started.
Hi everyone, Ollie here. Excited to share with you today. So let me just share my screen and let's learn how to double our sales page conversion. As Nicholas said, I'm Ollie. I am delighted to meet everyone. I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. I've already seen some really fantastic and various locations come through. And personally, I am in Bangkok right now. I'm nomadic, so I travel around. And this is a really unique time for me to do a webinar because it's 10:30. And I am excited to stay up and actually get to know you folks and teach you something really, really interesting. Honestly, I really believe you guys will find this extremely insightful. We're going to talk about sales page conversion. So the first thing I want to share with you before telling you a bit more about myself is why do we want to increase sales page conversion? And of course, it seems pretty obvious, but it's nice to get into it a little. So in this example, if you're selling a $299 course and your landing page or sales page is getting 1,000 visitors, depending on the conversion rate, the number of visitors who go on to buy, you're going to make different amounts of money. If your landing page converts at 1.5%, you will get about $4,500. If we can double that conversion, you're going to get closer to $9,000. This is with the same amount of visitors. You're not doing more marketing, you're not doing more outreach. This is just making changes to the page to convince more people to buy. This obviously isn't as simple as 10 seconds and we double it, but in today's webinar, I am going to share some things that are proven to increase conversion. And let me explain how I know this. So I'm Ollie, and I was a professional landing page roaster. I am in recovery right now, but I made almost $300,000 roasting 900 sales pages. So what I would do is go through the sale page and identify opportunities to turn more visitors into customers. And I would send that back to people and discover whether or not it made a difference. Trust me, after 900, I got pretty good at it. And there were so many interesting and insightful things I identified that were quick wins, let's just say. And I really love sharing them. Other people geek out on all sorts of things, landing pages, sales pages. That's kind of my bag. So I retired after 2 years, but I still like to play it every now and then. And I'm currently building a software business 100% in public. That means we share all the insights from growing the business. And the product is used by 20,000 creators. So, just to cover some of the things or to give you a summary of what we're going to talk about, I'm going to riff on this era of AI slop. And I think a lot of you may be thinking about this right now, how to stand out and what to do when everyone else is producing assets, funnels, and pages at 100x the speed. A quick spoiler here, the answer is not to join them. We're going to try something different. Then we're going to discuss building a high converting sales page that gets visitors to act right now. And I'm going to showcase some common sales page mistakes and how you fix them. I've got a roast of a really cool landing page that I'd love you to take a look at. It's really well executed, and I'm going to point out some awesome stuff, and you can emulate it to increase your own conversion. And then we're going to do a build along with Podia, which Nicola's going to do and is going to be super insightful. It's going to show you how to use Podia to put these ideas into action. And then finally, it's a Q&A. You can ask questions all the way through. I don't want this to feel too stuffy. Just go with your questions, and if there's a good time to answer them, I will. Or hold out for the Q&A. Often there's some real gold in those moments, actually. Right. So this is a food for thought. This is something I wanted to share. It's not necessarily a specific action, but it's something that I keep hearing from creators every day. We were basically told that AI was going to make our marketing a lot easier, but the reality is things feel a lot harder. Everywhere you look, people are posting slop. And what I mean by that is AI generated videos and images, and everything just feels a bit uncanny and odd. What we're also hearing is that buyers are overwhelmed. People are pushing out so many offers, they're flooding the inboxes. Basically, we're living in a world where anything can be produced in milliseconds, but it's not actually necessarily that good or that helpful. So, in a world where it's getting harder and harder to stand out as a creator, what do we do? I hope I'm building like enough tension here. So, my view would be you want to go the other way. It is time to be more human, be more authentic, craft your product with more intention. You have to double down on being human. What you want to do is center your customers, your clients, your students, yourself, and your partners in your marketing. Their stories, their proof, their case studies, their testimonials, their shout outs are what are going to help you to stand out and build credibility. So, in a world where everyone is using AI to make generic, personality free slot, you're going to go the other way and use the real words, voices, video, and audio of your customers. This is just a point that I want people to reflect on as we go through this webinar, because times are changing very rapidly right now, honestly. So there are specific ways to increase conversion, and I'm going to share three of them. I also have a bonus here, which is not about conversion, but how to turn more visitors into, or the same number of visitors into revenue. So let's get started. The first problem that often came up on the landing pages I reviewed was that the visitor feels no pain. So we're not going to harm them, don't worry. We're just going to make the current way feel uncomfortable. So right now, the visitor is happy. They don't want to act. The current way of doing things is fine for them. If we think of the transformation concept, they are pre the transformation, but they're not necessarily feeling they need to make it. So they leave. So, what we're going to do is make the current way feel painful. We're going to agitate the visitor. We're going to use words on the page that evoke and amplify the visitor's frustration. This is actually a common persuasion technique. It's called pain, agitate, solution. The visitor has a pain, and we're going to agitate it. In this example, we're saying to the visitor, is this you? Are you spending all day spending money even on new plants that look perfect in the store, but when you take them home, they die within hours or days? You feel guilty when you see that your plants aren't thriving. This is a tease of what's coming up later, but I wanted to relay this concept to you. Visitor always has some form of pain, and our job is to remind them of it and amplify it in a way that's also is ethical and empathetic. In fact, empathy is probably the key to it here. We're not trying to, again, make them feel something they don't. We're just making them feel heard and seen so they get ready to act. If anyone wants to share a buyer problem or pain in the chat right now, I'm more than happy to share how I would agitate it. But typically, what we're going to do here is riff on the pain. If there's not one, we can pick this up in the Q&A. But I'm always curious to see if anyone's got a pain that they're wondering how they amplify.
Yeah, we have a few great ones coming in. One is overwhelmed by clutter.
Okay, so overwhelmed by clutter. So want to go home and have a peaceful evening, but you're overwhelmed by clutter, been trying different techniques to finally clean out your kitchen, but it still looks like a total mess, craving peace and quiet with your loved ones so you can kick back and watch a film, but everywhere you look, there's documents and boxes stacking up. So this is just riffing and exploring and amplifying that type of pain. You can do
Mhm.
better with a bit more time, but that is just an example of how I play with that. Are there any others? I could do one more.
Yeah. What about not enough time to eat healthy?
Yes, so let's try this. Desperately wanting to eat more healthy and hit your goals, but struggling because you've got kids to deal with in the morning. Every time you order healthy food, you're killing the budget plans. Um, you keep reading quick 15-minute healthy recipes, but they end up taking hours. Everyone tells you that there's a new superfood on the market, but you can't seem to find it. So you're just playing with this concept to get people to go, yes, that's me. And then we're going to gracefully introduce the solution. I think you can see that I used to love doing this was my jam, was like riffing on these. So the next one is that the visitor doesn't trust you. So obviously, I've explained why it's even harder than ever to build trust. The visitors are inundated with choice. Every single person, product, and business is saying that they are the best, and you don't have enough trust or credibility. And one of the reasons I actually built Senja is because I'd often meet creators that had incredible businesses. They built these really awesome offers, but they didn't know how to stand out. And I found that so frustrating because I could see that there were people that were great at marketing that had terrible offers, and there were people with incredible offers they'd crafted and worked on, but they just didn't know how to present that. So, what we're going to do is to use your customer stories, your case studies, your how to's in your marketing. So, first, you need to collect them. You're going to share them everywhere. So, don't think you're going to add a widget to a landing page and you're done. We're going to add customer stories throughout the funnel. We're going to put them into emails. We're going to put them in your social accounts and drive people to your landing pages. We're going to thread them through your website and sales pages. We're going to use these customer stories and this proof everywhere. You can focus on a few types of stories that show results. Sorry, first that show results, some that discuss objections, and also you might want to use testimonials or other types of proof that really highlight your USPs, how what you do is different. So, for example, if you're a community, how that might be different to reading a book, or how it might be different to doing a course, or how it might be different to doing nothing is a very common one. But you're going to use your customer's language to do this. And what I'd like to do is quickly show you inside my Senja account how we actually do this. So what we have here is the Senja Studio, which takes your customer stories and turns them into hundreds of different marketing assets. So what you have is loads of different widgets that you can add on your pricing page, your sales page, your about us page, your recruitment page, if you have one. And as you can see, there's hundreds of different types, but you could also turn them into sizzle reels to put into your socials, or you can turn them into images or videos too. So a sizzle reel would be a remix, but this would be a single video. You can create pop-ups, which you add across your website, video embeds that you put across your sales pages, images to put into your emails, and images to post to socials, or of course, walls of love, which you can link to in your social selling. So you don't need to use Senja to do this. You should use whatever you think is best. But the important thing to remember, and I'm really serious about this in a geeky way, is use them across and through your funnel. Please don't just stick them on your landing page and go, okay, we built trust. Uh, the the bar is higher now. It has to be everywhere you can. Those stories can be so powerful, and that customer language is really awesome either way. So this is what I would suggest, proof across the funnel. Now let me keep going here. And of course, like I say, we're going to see this in action. So the third thing that we can look at is that the visitor doesn't know how to act. I love this one because when I did the landing page roasts or audits, whatever you want to call them, I there were let's put it like this: people often are blind to what's going on in their own landing page, and then someone will look at it and say, did you know this, or did you observe that? And their mind is blown, and it was one of my favorite things to do. So in this situation, your visitor trusts you, they're ready to buy, but they actually don't know what to do. You've got to remember that visitors aren't just sat there fully locked in. They have their kids in the background, or their to-do list is stacking up. They are overwhelmed and distracted. But in this situation, they've decided to buy and it's not clear. So let me give you an example of what I would see often would be a call to action, a button on a landing page that was the same color as the background. You couldn't even see it was a button. So you need it to be really crystal clear that this is the button you need to click. It needs to be, ringing out. So make sure your buy buttons, or CTAs as we call them, are specific, they're obvious, and they're everywhere. So what does everywhere mean? So one really cool thing I noticed in Podia is that a call to action lives in the menu. And as I scroll down the page, that call to action is always there and ready to click. A couple more do's and don'ts of the CTA: make sure it contrasts with the background, lock it in the menu so when the visitor is ready to buy, they can buy. Make sure it works on mobile. This often comes up too. So again, there's just small things that will make a massive difference. If there's no button, it's an insane difference because you can't buy. In this case, I would encourage that you make sure it's really clear and obvious on a mobile to click. Support it with proof. I mean, put little avatars or other types of proof next to the button. Add the word free into the call to action if it is free. Let them know. Don't use vague language, use a verb in it to suggest movement. So, something with action and energy, and don't try and be too clever. One thing I see quite frequently is people making new button styles that don't look anything like buttons. Remember, they're scanning the page, they're making a quick decision. Final bonus one for you folks is, if you've built credibility and the visitor is ready to buy, you can be leaving money on the table. So I built this to build tension again. So how are we leaving money on the table if you're not using upsells? So this is another way to get more money from the same number of visitors. Again, this goes back to, we don't really want to be testing marketing channels all day and all night. We just want to get our existing audience to trust us and spend a bit more money with us buying the awesome products and offers we have put together and made available. So in this case, this is Podia as well, but after I picked a product, there is a discounted upsell, which will drive an increase in the order value. And this is a really graceful way of just making a bit more money from the same visitors. So I'm going to look at one page now, and then we'll move over to the build along. What we have here is a landing page for a person who does coaching. In this case, it's design career coaching, and it really supports or is in line with a lot of the points I've just made. So I'm going to go through the page, and I'm going to share with you what this person, Chris, his name is, has done to increase and drive conversion. Right. So this is not his landing page, let's say, or homepage. This is a sales page for his coaching. So what we have here is immediate proof right at the top of the page. These are faces of people he's mentored, and that is a Senja widget. And then he said, I've shown 100 designers how to unblock themselves and get career clarity. What we have here is a very obvious and immediate button. So when I say you want to make your call to action immediate and clear, this is what that looks like. It's kind of going to be hard to miss this. He's continued with more customer stories. This is another Senja widget. I think it looks awesome. Again, you don't need to use Senja, but this is a concept of using proof throughout the page. Really build that sense of trust and credibility. Next, and this is something I really enjoyed, let me scroll down, was the pain language. Were you recently let go and unemployed, but you're ready to take your best self into the job market? You're nervous about career switching because it's been forever. Can you see that this doesn't need to be said, but by saying it, it makes the visitor think, you know what, this is me. This person understands me. This person is someone that I want to hear from. And traditionally, you move from that pain, from that agitation into your pitch, your product, whatever you're selling. So right now, he's going straight from, do you feel like this? Do you feel like that? And the visitor's going, I do. And it's really, really annoying. And then it says, okay, this is what you need. And this is something that I really have enjoyed about this page is the way it builds the pain before pitching. Look how many call to actions you've got. This is the third one already on this page. So we're repeating that really obvious call to action. More social proof. This is all pulled from Senja and I love it. But again, it's about the threading. This is being human. He's introducing himself. Again, this is standing out in the age of AI. Who am I spending my time with? Who is going to be the one that coaches me? Because if I'm spending time with someone, I want to love it and enjoy them. And then it continues with even more proof and more insights. It's a really, really nice landing page. So I think this is a great example of some of those things. And I would love to see Nicola show us how that's done in Podia.
Awesome. Okay, great. So this is your basic Podia dashboard right here. This is what you see when you log in. I have got my website builder over here, then my products, my community, my blog, email, chat and inbox, audience, all these things over in the side. But today we're just going to focus on our products and our website. I'm going to click into the products tab. And if I were starting purely from scratch, I would click here to make a new product. So I can do courses or downloads or webinars. But I've already got some products loaded up in here. And today, what we kind of were teasing in the presentation is this business where maybe you're not great with houseplants and that makes you really sad and you want to get better and not have a bunch of mushy cactuses. Speaking from experience. So, we're going to make a business that helps people get better at doing houseplants and keeping them happy and healthy. I have two products loaded up in here, a Happy Plant Routines video series and a Save Your Sad Plant Pocket Reference Guide. This is the one we will be making a sales page for today using what we just talked about in the presentation. I'm going to click Edit right here. And here's where you can add any files to a product. So you can add as many as you like. If you end up with a lot of files, you can organize them in sections as well. Then we're going to hop over into the details. This is where you can give your product a name, an image, and a description. And right here, is a great place to put just a little one or two liner description about your product. You do not have to put your whole sales page here because we're going to build the sales page in just a minute. This is just your little snippet telling people what the product is. You've also got more options down the page. If you do want to allow comments in your products or discussions, you can do that. But let's hop over into pricing. Right now, this is set to free, but I want this to be a paid product. So I'm going to choose single payment. You've got other options like a payment plan or subscription as well, but we're going to do one flat rate for $25 for this ebook guide. And then right here is where you can add in your upsell. The end result here is going to be something like this, where when someone is checking out, they will see another product they can add to their cart. And the setup is just right here. So I'm going to add a little headline because the person would have just purchased Save Your Sad Plant reference guide. So, to introduce the next product they might also want, I'm going to say, you saved your sad plant. Now let's keep it happy. So, this is the guide to maintaining the product or the plant that you have just helped. So that makes it a nice fit for the next product offer in the lineup. Then I'm going to click right here. Whoops. And I'm going to add this Happy Plant Routines video. You can customize the name and description again if you want, or you can just use whatever you put in originally. And we're going to give this a $5 discount so that whenever someone lands on this page, they can get this product for a discounted price. So that's all set up behind the scenes. And now we can move into our landing page or sales page for this product. I'm going to click these three dots right here, and I'm going to click Edit Sales Page. Okay, so your sales page, all done. No, I'm just kidding. This is the very simple sales page that is set up for you by the system in Podia. So for every product you make, this page is generated and it'll pull in your picture and your title and your description and your price, all that. So if you just need to make something and go, this page exists. But we're going to make it even better using all of the things we talked about today. So the first thing I want to do is hop into these design settings here. And this is where you can adjust your site-wide colors, fonts, media, structure, all those details. And this will apply to your whole website, so there's some continuity. So this landing page will not look like a totally different business from another part of your website. You'll have kind of the uniform colors. This is a preset palette. There's a few of them that come out of the box. You can choose, or you can make your own. So I really like this green one for a plant brand. I think the greens and teals look really good, but I don't think this has quite enough contrast. This is a nice bright teal, but I think I want this to be a little more poppy so it's more obvious where someone should click on the page. And because it's Podia and Senja and we are both purple, we're going to pick a fun purple color and pick a really bright one that's hard to miss. Yeah, that looks really nice, much easier to see than that teal. And now I'm going to back out. These are some color palette presets that you can go in and customize if you want, but you don't have to. You can use everything just out of the box. And then you can go in and customize things like your fonts, some other options here. I think I like this one, this more rounded one. Feels more fun for a plant business. Okay, so we're going to leave the kind of the big design settings for now, and let's address problem number one. There's no pain point here. We are not connecting with our customers about what pains they're experiencing in their plant journey. So I'm going to click this plus sign. And right now, just to give you a little orientation here, we are in the website builder and we are in the product sales page for this Save Your Sad Plant. I just clicked this plus sign right here to add another website section. And these are all the sections that you can choose from, and you can click into each one to get some templates. So I'm going to do a simple text section here. And I'm going to fill in some copy that addresses the pain points that my audience member would be feeling. And this is something, if you do not have a green thumb, you have probably felt, which is you go buy a new plant and it looks so great for a week, and then you notice it in your living room and it just doesn't look so good and you don't know what you did. So that is a very relatable thing if you are not good at plants. So then that's what I'm going to lead with in this example, because I want to show my audience that I get it. I get it. I've been there and I can help fix that exact problem. There's nothing they're bringing to me that I can't help them fix with this product. I'm also going to add in a little more detail here, which again is just connecting with the person, showing them that, hey, I've been there too, and we can solve this problem together. And using that kind of friendly language of let's fix this problem, I think can work really nicely on sales pages as well. So we also want to go ahead and get some social proof and trust right up at the top. So I'm going to hop into Senja. And this is my Senja account, and I have loaded up some proof. These are some testimonials from previous customers. I've got 3 loaded up in here, and as I get more customers, I can add more. And then I'm going to go to Studio, And I want to make one of those little widgets that has the faces and the avatar widget. Yes. I want that one because I think that looks really cool. And there's tons of options, and I'm going to click testimonial avatars. We're going to make an avatar widget, and then we're going to put this on a landing page and create widget. Okay, so it has pulled in all three of my testimonials that I've already got, which is great. I am going to position it in the center because that top section of my landing page is also centered. So just to keep it looking all nice, I'm going to save my changes and then click share. Now with Podia, you can embed things just using the link. So I went to link, I copied my link, I'm back in Podia, I'm right in this section here, over here in the text. When you hit the slash key, it'll pull up this menu of options. You can add images, videos, files. We're going to choose embed. And that will insert our Senja widget. So let me show you on the live page. So now here is my top section. I have my big statement saying, look, I understand your pain point. Did a little agitation here. You're feeling guilty, you're feeling sad, and then presented what's going to fix it. We're going to work together. I've got a solution for you. And then we also have our social proof right up at the top. So someone on this page can see that there are other happy customers who love this product. Move into our next section here. This is where we're going to make it very, very, very easy for someone to buy from us. This banner is, again, automatically set up in Podia when you make a product. This is your image you added, your title, and your description. And this buy now button will take your customer to the checkout page for this product. And if you change any of these details, they'll be reflected across your site as well. So I'm going to do a little bit of adjusting here. I'm not going to do a ton of designing yet because I find it's better to get all the copy on the page first and then go through and make it look very beautiful. So I'm just going to shrink that photo down a touch. Okay. Great. So the next thing we're going to do is address those pain points one more time to really make sure our customer knows we understand their problem and we're in tune with what they need, essentially. Click this plus sign right here, and we're going to add one more text section. And for this one, I'm going to take away, this is a little pre-title and subtitle. And I'm just going to ask, is this you? And then I have got my little call outs here that show, look, if these are your issues, you're in the right place. Spending money on new plants that look great and then they don't look great very soon, feeling guilty, looking for advice and not finding it. So, all these are very real experiences someone might feel when they are trying to solve this problem. And I'm just calling it out so that my viewer knows I've got the solution and I'm clued in with what they need. Next, we're going to add some more testimonials. We are going to go back over into Senja and make a different widget on the widgets page. And for this one, I want to show the full text of my testimonials. There's a few that will do this. This masonry grid is really nice. There are carousels. I'm going to choose this bubble list one, and we'll do bubble. And again, this is going on a landing page. Create a widget, and look, it pulled in my picture, my name, and my full testimonials. And I had also set this highlighted text, so that makes it jump out even more on the page. And also, one thing I love doing, I like going through and experimenting with all the different styles. You can just get some ideas. I think this would be really beautiful if I had more testimonials in there. But we're going to save changes. Click share. I'm going to grab that link. Okay. So I have that link copied. Don't let me forget that. Now I'm going to go back to text, same section, centered, nice and easy. And I'm going to hit the slash key, embed, paste. And now this is going to show up in this section of my website. So let me refresh that for you. There we are. And I do want to add a little bit of trust building copy right here. So I'm going to say, Over 100 plant owners have used Save Your Sad Plant to rescue their ferns, fiddlefigs, and monsteras. So I'm showing people that lots and lots of customers have used this, and here is their exact word for word feedback. I'm not saying I have the best course in the world. It's amazing. My product is great. I'm letting my customers speak for my product. And then we are going to hop down to the objections section. We do not want people to have these questions that go unanswered because when they're on your sales page, you actually don't really get to talk to them all that much. They're just reading. So let's go ahead and answer any questions they have so that they're not wondering. And we're going to do that with an FAQ section. And you can add a question and add an answer. So just like this, add the question, add the answer, and your viewer can click in to get the answers to their questions. This is great for things like, do you have a refund policy? How long does this course take? Do I need to buy supplies? Questions like that that could be potential sticking points for potential buyers. All right, so we're gonna wrap out this page with one more big buy now button because again, we wanna make it super easy for someone to buy the product. And if they've made it all the way to the bottom of the page, they're probably a good fit. So I'm going to click banner. I've got a few options here, but let's just grab this guy. And again, we have our price, our title, and our description and buy now button. And we're good to go. I think we could probably fit one more testimonial section in here. I love that little, the moving one, the highlight reel. Yeah. Okay, we're going to grab this one. Let's grab this link. Back in Podia. I'm adding that text section. Taking out the title because we don't need that for this. Slash key and paste. Okay, publish. Let's take a look at what we've got, and then we're going to make a few little design tweaks, and then we're done. Okay, so we have got plenty of social proof and trust on our page. People can see other people have bought this and got help with their problem. We have very clear language saying that we understand their pain point. If someone is coming to us looking for a solution, we can connect with them and say, look, I know where you're starting. Let me help you solve the problem. And it's very easy for someone to just click and buy. And if they do click and buy, they'll be taken to this page where they can even add another product to their cart, potentially with one page that you would have had to make anyway. You're now increasing your chance of making sales and also increasing the total value of those sales. So you're kind of getting 2 bonus points there as well. Let's do a few tiny design things. I've got just a minute or 2 left until we move into Q&A. I am going to make this section pop out a bit more. This is my buy now section. And I'm going to click into this design tab. And these color palettes are all designed in the design tab, so you can customize them there, but they work out of the box as well. They all look really nice. I'm going to change this to a square and round it out. And then I want to add a background image, like a kind of a transparent image. There is an Unsplash integration here. You can just search directly in Unsplash. Okay, I like this plant. That's a little hard to see. We want to keep it a little more subtle. All right, and that still looks really nice with that purple popping. And this section now stands out quite a bit more from the lighter color back of the rest of the website being a lighter background. For this one, we can go grab this light green color. Oops, we get that out of there. This one as well. And this one, I do want to make these a little narrower because I think it's a bit easier to read. So we'll keep it like that. So this stays on 2 lines. And then these are just a little easier to read. But I love how this green background comes through and really makes the testimonials pop here. Then in the FAQ section, again, we can give it a background color. We can put these on cards if we want. You got a lot of options here. I think I'm going to keep this plain. And then we'll keep that one plain down at the bottom. Now let's see how we're looking. Okay, so we have got our full sales page for this product set up. And as I scroll, this buy now button is staying with us. So it's really easy to find, but we've also given people plenty of opportunities to buy.
I was just going to say that I think is really nice about Podia is the way that I can create my page, but then it's already working with a checkout and it's all very like gracefully connected. So rather than having to have my own checkout platform separately, it's all there with the upsells. So that's something that I think you guys do incredibly well. We have these offers as well, if anyone is interested, um, so that you can try out Senja and you can try out Podia. So if you want to try out Senja, you can use this code Podia. Senja is free, but you can use this code to get access to unlimited testimonials. And also, if you're here from Senja and you'd love to understand Podia more, I do use it for my own course. Please give it a go. It's podia.com. So let's do the Q&A.
All right. So I have a question for you, Ollie. What if I am brand new and I do not have any testimonials?
Yeah, so if you're brand new and you don't have any testimonials, I do love this question. So the first thing is that typically you just want to get one or two of them. And the way to get one or two of them is to start maybe with a discount on your offer or reach out to people and see if they would be happy to give you an honest testimonial. We're not trying to manipulate one, but for early access. Another thing is that even if you only collect one, remember, it can be used in lots of different ways. So, just in the way that you took one, well, in your case, a set of three testimonials and showed them in three different ways across the landing page, remember that just one testimonial can be used across your funnel and across different things. So, that's typically what I would suggest if you don't have testimonials. If it's a course or an offer of some form, you can also, of course, collect them in the beta period and use them to partly improve the execution of it. So we would recommend not necessarily asking for a testimonial, but asking for feedback. And if that feedback is positive, then you can ask for a testimonial.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And I see another comment here that one customer is planning to give out the course for free to 10 people in exchange for testimonials. Is that something you've seen work well as well?
Yes, but again, I would always recommend that you do frame it more like feedback because basically, most people, if they like it, will willingly give a testimonial, but we don't want to assume sometimes. So I would rather say, I'd love your feedback. And then if they say it's really good, then you go, would you be willing to leave a testimonial? If they have more negative but constructive feedback, then you can use that to improve it.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. And another question here. Do you think having a short video on the sales page really makes a difference? And if yes, where would you put that on your page?
So I don't know for a fact if it makes a difference in the sense that it does need to be tested. But what I can tell you is that different videos will have different play rates. So make sure that your thumbnail is very inviting. Make sure that typically it's really interesting and shows strong emotion, or that the video has some movement to it. So different brands and creators have different results with video, but I always would say to test the thumbnail.
So we do have a question. Yeah, does Senja support video testimonials and is there editing available?
Yes, so Senja supports multiple responses in the forms, and you can collect video testimonials as clips, so you can be much more intentional. You can say things like, what was life before? What was life after? What was your experience? What did you think of the
Mm,
course materials? You can also collect private feedback. Again, you're going to take the same video clips and you're going to reuse them in lots of different ways, sizzle reels, widgets, and pop ups.
yeah, awesome. So I've got one as well. Does each product need their own landing page? That is a great question. And I would say yes, each product does get their own landing page. But if you have a lot of smaller products and it feels like they could maybe be combined in some way. You could also offer them together as a bundle. Maybe you want to offer them as a membership or a subscription. So I would think each individual thing you offer should have its own page. But if you are finding that you have just a ton of tiny little things, maybe that's worth looking into combining them into one bigger thing. And you are not limited to just landing pages. You can make like your website homepage, you can make a product page, you could pretty much make as many pages of any kind that you want on your website and then feature your products however makes sense. Do I need to add product slots in my hero section, or copywriting can work to make the visitor scroll down to view in more detail? Okay, so I think this is like a buy, maybe a buy button right at the top. What do you think about that, Ollie?
Yeah, I think generally you want to set the scene, you do want to build pain. Some people do have the product or the call to action right there. And sometimes what that means is it gets clicked, they go to the cart, but they then abandon it because they haven't actually sort of uncovered enough, had their objections addressed. So I've seen some interesting results where more people click through, but actually fewer people check out. So I would say typically set the scene, build the pain, and then reveal the product. Again, the way people look at landing pages isn't going to be like they're going to read each word from left to right all the way down. What they are going to do is scan up and down, but typically we're going to use the headings to sort of anchor them. So that is what I would suggest: is do introduce the product, the pain, more gracefully, and then have the kind of reveal with the main call to action. Of course, you can have the call to action throughout.
This person is just starting out but doesn't have a ton of credentials or a big resume yet. They can offer a personal connection and relate to the customer, but what else can they use to build credibility at an early stage?
Yeah, so I love this. So you are right in that you basically want to share your story. So typically in the creator space, what you're talking or going to share even is the journey you went on. Often that journey is the journey your offer is about. So if that's moving forward in your career, you might explain that. So that's a really, really nice way to do it. And then it does go back to getting more of that type of proof. There's a few other things that you can do that aren't just collect testimonials. You can import proof from reviews websites. You can look for social shout outs and
Mm.
share those. Senja would actually support that, or you could embed them directly. So just look absolutely everywhere. But it isn't about a resume. I think it is much more about saying, I went on this journey and this is what happened for me. And make tell it in the first person, make it feel very human and natural. Again, anti AI here. It's all about you. AI can't write your story. You can do that really well. And typically share it in a way that just feels centered on them. So even though it's your story, you need to reframe it at the end like, I want to help you do this thing too.
Another question here. So the difference between what's the difference between a landing page and a sales page? And I think this can be really interesting because both are just pages on your website, right? And a sales page is one that's going to point someone to buy a product from you. But you can actually use all of this on a landing page as well, which typically is just getting people to take a different action, but not necessarily make a purchase. So one I see very often is a landing page for your email list or your newsletter. And on this page, you have a big email sign up form, join my newsletter, but you also are going to use all these same techniques we talked about today to make it really appealing to someone, because most of us don't need more things in our inbox. But if you have a really great newsletter that people should know about, you can use this trust building technique, telling your story, all of these things to get people onto your email list, for example. Okay, so how can we encourage users to give us video testimonials instead of text testimonials?
Yeah, so this is a great question as well. All of these have been very
I know, it's
interesting,
a
and
really good question.
yeah.
Everyone came
So
prepared.
they did. So here's the thing about video. So it has a few benefits. One is that it's harder to fake. So we do want to collect video testimonials. They can be transcribed, which means in places where you can't use video, you still have the text version. And generally they're able to communicate sort of the energy a bit better, which is this anti-AI thing. So how do you get more of them? Well, you have a few choices. First is you can incentivize it. You're not incentivizing positivity, but you're saying, if you were to film a video, I can do this, which might be a discount code for a future offer. Another thing that you can do is if they've left you a text one, is go back to them and go, actually, I love this, but I would love you to do a video one. Typically, another thing that's really important, and this is how Senja and Podia gracefully connect, is that you can collect video using a Senja form. Senja has forms inside your Podia course. So you're actually going to make our form one of your lessons, and you're going to put it about halfway through. So as they're working through their Podia lessons or classes, what they're going to have is a, would you mind giving me some feedback? And if they give positive feedback, it will redirect to video collection. So your trigger, which is moving through a lesson, is going to work really well. One tip that's also important for video and text is just to be human. Again, it's not like our brand would appreciate it if you would share your thoughts. It's your feedback helps me improve my course. Please share it so that I can continue doing what I love and improve the quality of what I put out into the world. So those are a few thoughts around video, but this is the right question to be asking. Thank you.
Yeah, and then you can use that feedback as a testimonial, but also in different iterations of your products as well. Because once you make a product, it is not locked in forever. You can go in and make adjustments, make updates. You can, if you use the discussion features, for example, you can add like a course update or something really easily. So if you're getting feedback from people and they're saying, "I loved this, but I wish you would have talked more about X topic, Y topic," you can go back and use that to make your products even better and really serve the people who are trusting you on the journey you're going on with them.
I was going to say what you will also see if you are using this feedback is you'll see course completion rates inside your Podia will actually increase. And if your completion rates increase, you're more likely to be able to sell future offers.
This question is a little bit different, so I do want to grab it before we hop off. Best to
Sure.
design for the computer and then double check on mobile or vice versa. So that brings up a fantastic point. A lot of people do check out sales pages for products on mobile, especially if you do a lot of your marketing on social media. You probably will get viewers on both. So you
Mm.
can, I would recommend build on desktop. Today, most modern website builders are going to be adjusted. Losing the word, but there's a word that's like they will automatically adapt adapt for
Yes.
mobile. That and Podia included. So you will automatically everything will still look really nice on mobile. It won't get cut off. But it is a great idea to always go back and just double check your page on mobile just to make sure everything's looking exactly the way you want. Because sometimes something looks great in a grid, and then when it's all stacked, it doesn't have the same effect. So I recommend build it on desktop, and then when it looks the way you want, double check on mobile before blasting it to your audience. There are a few questions here about Podia and Senja. Podia does have a 30-day free trial, so you can join and test everything out. Everything I did today was on a free trial. You can start making sales, start building your email list. And then with Senja, how does that work on Senja as well?
Sure. So Senja is free forever. We have a tier that allows you to collect 15 testimonials, or if you'd like to collect unlimited testimonials or set up some more advanced automations, then we have a plan which starts at $29 a month. And there's also the code. So if you use the Podia code, so it's just Podia, you'll get 2 months for $1 a month. Um, I just love people to have a play with it and see if it works for them.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is every business is going to be different, and the best way to figure out if something's going to work for you, Podia and Senja, is to just get in there and test it out. I do have another question here. The reviews pictured, were they from Google, Senja, or somewhere else? So the ones I used in this sample build today were ones that I created for the example for the demo portion. However, when you do this for your real business, you can import testimonials you've collected manually. So, for example, if you've sent out an email to your list asking for feedback and some people sent great testimonials, you can manually add those into Senja, or there are other tools for gathering feedback built in, which I'll let Ollie speak to more.
Yeah, so you can upload screen grabs and we'll transcribe them. You can connect to other platforms like Google Reviews and it will auto import them. And you can collect directly with Senja, particularly video testimonials, so that they're available. So every single piece of proof that you have in your business can be in one place. It's not scattered everywhere. The forms are great because you can use invites to invite people to leave it. It will do the follow-ups, that type of thing. Yeah, generally, I think it makes life a lot more easy, and it's really powerful to have all of it in one place.
Okay, so you have links in the chat for Senja and Podia, so you can check both of those out. But I hope this has been so helpful. I know I've had a blast today. I feel like we could keep going for another hour. So
Yeah,
I
it's
think
been
we
awesome.
all right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. That was really
Thanks,
fun.
everybody. Yes, thank you, everybody.